Welcome, everybody. Well, we're coming to you live from the backyard where we have set up a garden here. Um, some of the stuff that I will show you today will be things that we did start in these little greenhouses back in April, thinking that we were getting ahead of the game, but nobody really expected the weather to be as slow starting for planting as it did. So I'm going to start you guys out on the right side here where we have the watermelon plants. Um, if anybody's seen the original live when we planted seeds, I think I did a few updates along the way, but a lot of stuff didn't make it. These full plants right here are the ones that I had in red solo cups instead of those little trays, and so they did really well. So they're surviving. Some of these are the tiny ones that were planted in the greenhouses that I put too many seeds together, so they kind of fused together. And then these bad little boys here, I just recently planted in case these didn't make it. So we got probably too many watermelons, but I may take a few plants out and pass them on, see if anybody else wants to grow a few. But yeah, this one here, we finally got gently pulled upwards because what we're doing here is we're vining these up. Watermelon usually the vines will lay across and you'll grow them like that, but you can do them vertically. And so this has an arch piece that goes up over top of it to where they can vine up. And it'll support those heavy melons because they're not light. Okay, come around here. And on the right side, we have a yellow pear tomato plant, multiple of them. They were saved from the greenhouses. They were also a beginner's mistake. I planted too many seeds in each pod and ended up with clusters. So some of them I couldn't separate. I did thin this out a bit, but we've got plans in case we need to pull any out and move them. Over here on the left, we have aroma tomato plants, and we're starting to get some flowers, which the fruit usually comes right behind that, veggies. But really, I was having a struggle for a while with keeping things watered. We've had such a hot, humid summer. So I got some really good organic mulch. And I'm telling you guys, these plants took off once the watering cycle got right and the mulch got put in. Up here, we have our big flower bed. And here we just planted yesterday some baby carrots on this side, gourmet mix, baby lettuce in the middle, and over here we've got some romaine lettuce on this side. Now, the one thing that I did research and found out is that on your garden areas where you have cucumbers, watermelon, tomato, things like that growing, you want to put a lot of marigolds. So my husband built these nice little flower boxes on the end of the flower bed. And yeah, so we got marigolds planted in here. We got a couple out here in the front in a couple buckets. This one over here. And then we've got our basket of marigolds over here. So we kind of got them surrounding all the important stuff. And then over here, we've got the big cucumber cage going on here. This is the big one. We've been working on these. I'm trying to learn to prune. On this side, on the right side, we're growing some gourmet pickling cucumbers because I'm really wanting to do some pickles. And right now we've got one that's very mature right there. Another one over here that's quite large. And so we decided we would wait and pick them and share them with you guys, our first time picking the first 3 cucumbers that'll come off. And on this side, I planted regular cucumber. They call them slicing cucumbers. And so far, we're not seeing anything yet, but we're not sure what's going on this side. Everything looks real healthy, but we've done a lot of pruning, kind of took the sucker leaves off, kind of followed the instructions that I've been looking up just to make sure I'm doing this right, because I didn't even think about pruning when I first started growing all this. So we're still waiting on the left side. We're hoping we'll get a little further with that. And then here I had some leftover cucumber seeds. And originally I had put this 3 seeds I had left in a smaller pot than even this. So this is a 12-inch. It was in like an 8. And it had such shallow depth to it that it was literally like all the roots had grown in a circle. So that's why the cucumber plant was stunted. So we got it out, retransplanted it into this big single pot by itself. Got it lots of soil, got some good organic fertilizer down in there to give it some growth since it was stunted. And did a little trimming at the bottom here. Got the sucker leaves off. Big leaves are sun leaves. And then these little guys here, they hold on and kind of help it vine. Now this one's got its first little baby cucumber starting right there. But this plant's grown 3 times its size. And I think it was a week and a half ago when we put this in the single pot. This one I've been keeping up front on the patio, trying to get my sun area figured out for what grows best where. And then over here we have all these sweet potato slips that have been planted. Now, the orange bag under here is a great big huge ginormous sweet potato that I started this whole thing out with. And my first pictures of the gardening stuff was a picture of this floating in water, and got it all rooted out. And then what we did was we carefully dug a really deep hole, buried the roots down in deep in with water and all that, just to make sure that it wasn't shocked. And then all of the growth on top that it already had is all slips. So all these can be trimmed off and still grown. But underneath this sweet potato here, they will be growing potatoes. So we will eventually get those. But this is really flourished. I mean, it's got vines that are just, they go on. These are really beautiful plants. We got our little harvesting window there. Over here, we've got, it looks like the bugs have been biting on my plants again. I've been spraying them with stuff. But these were 3 baby potatoes, little golden potatoes, like the little bite-sized ones you get, the little organic ones in a bag. And 3 of them out of the bag had little roots on them, little eyes. So I decided I'd bury them down 3 inches, like they said. And out of those 3, we got 6 healthy potato plants here. So we've got some baby potatoes growing in the yellow bag. You have to spray. Is it up there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've been spraying this organic. It's Dawn soap, apple cider vinegar, and water mixed. It's supposed to help keep the insects from biting your leaves. Now, over here we have more slips, sweet potato slips that I had got put in water and rooted out. So that's what's in here. And then that's the same with this plant right here. This is another sweet potato slip, and they really vine out really good. They're really massive plants. So under these, those will be growing sweet potatoes as well. And then that's what's in here too, a little bit smaller plants. But we're gonna give them a little spray here, because obviously there's stuff biting them. I don't want that. So we're gonna spray this concoction on here. It looks like the potato plants something's really bit it. Look at it, there's like a million holes in them. That's kind of sad. It's funny how one day you'll come out and everything looks fine, and the next day it's like the bugs had a buffet. God, they just can't get enough of. Maybe sweet potato leaves are really good for insects, or they really like them. I don't know. Yeah, so I've sprayed the cucumbers with them here, but like plants here, the leaves. But some of it you just can't really do much about. And I've had to take a lot of the leaves off, because that was one of the pruning things I learned, is if you have a lot of, if there's any disease in your leaf, you don't want it getting in the plant. So some of the sun leaves, like this one, could probably go. But since this side's not taking off very well, I'm trying to leave it alone for a bit and see what happens, because there's certain places that the cucumbers grow in between. And so we were trying to figure out where that is. So it looks to me like the main vine, and then it's coming out of between 2 of the pieces off the main vine. So we don't want to get rid of anything that's going to cause them to not grow after this. So yeah, one of the things that we plan on doing today was picking our first cucumbers, and it looks like there's 3 of them ready to go. So what we're going to do is take them off, and we'll probably, we can take all 3 of them off, I guess. And then we're going to wash them up and clean them up and give them a go and try them out and do a little cucumber testing. Why is my comment screens aren't going anywhere? Okay, there we go. Alrighty then.
Almost fully.
Yeah. Oh,
It's like blowing up.
that one's. Look at that funny looking one. Oh my goodness. Let's get over here on this side of it. That one. That's kind of a funny looking. Look at that one there, you guys.
Blowing up.
Yeah. He's a little chunky at the top. Yeah. So we're hoping then we got the big guy right there. So, and yeah, it's interesting though to watch and see the different sizes that they become. Like all of the in betweens. And these, like, we had 2 days of a lot of rain last week, and after that, everything just grew wildly here. So I guess we should probably, in the pink bucket, the pruners, the cutters, and we'll go ahead and give these cucumbers a chop, guys, and we're gonna see what we got here, see how well we did. Some really good seeds that I ordered from Amazon, from an organic farm where they do, and so obviously I would want to pick this a little sooner. Because it's for pickling, we've wanted about 4 inches. This is about 6. So we're going to attempt here. Let's get this big bad boy off. And I'm imagining that I just give him a clip right here. Ooh, I bet that vine's like, oh my goodness. Because look at this little cucumber down here. He's not doing so well because all of the nutrients are going into the big one. So, okay, so we'll set this one. We got to mix up our baking soda water here so we can give her a good scrub. Just let that soak for a minute. And then, yeah, so I bet that vine is like, oh, wow. You can probably tighten it up now, huh? But this one here looks like we almost need to give it a boost. Doesn't have anything to hold on to. Interesting, huh? Well, we'll just let it go for now, but keeping these things tied up and separated and supported is a job in itself, honestly. This little one finally grabbed on. There's a couple, I mean, I've thinned these out a lot. There was way too many in here to begin with, y'all. Because, yeah, they weren't getting the nutrients. So I thought I did a good job of that, and everything's growing over here. But how many plants we got on this side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So there's 7 over here. And one of them is teeny weeny on this side. That's this guy. He's just got a late start. We're going to give him a chance still. He's still doing good. But okay, so we will go ahead and start washing the cucumber and cleaning him. Been outside. Hasn't been sprayed with pesticides or anything. Like I said, anything that we're spraying leaves with has all been organic. Gotta make sure we're taking care of things that we're growing so we don't have any issues, right?
Yeah, it looks nice and ripe.
Righty then. Give it a nice rinse off. Alrighty then. And so we're gonna do the slicing here. I can't remember if these have seeds in them or not. We're gonna find out.
It might.
Oh, it smells fresh.
Oh yeah, you can smell it. Super good.
All right, guys, we're gonna do a cucumber taste testing here. I wish I was able to drone you some cucumber so you could join us. Okay. And then we will compost our ends. Here we have I'll show you here in a minute, our compost that we have going. Here, I'll let you pick those up, and I'll follow you.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to show you our compost barrel. Now, this is a wild story. About 4 days ago, no, a week ago maybe, my husband and me were talking about how we're going to do our compost. We started out in a 5-gallon bucket, and I was like, oh my Lord. Somebody had put this outside to get rid of it. Nothing wrong with it. And so we were trying our hardest to build our compost for next year so that we don't have to do kind of icky in there. But grass clippings and all sorts of food clippings, watermelon rinds, you name it. Anything that's fresh, we're putting in there. So we should have some good compost next year. All right, so now here we go. All right.
Oh, let me see.
All right, Dad.
Yeah.
Close the combos.
We'll all have a cucumber toast. Grab your plate, please. All right, here we go, guys. To summer. Even better cold. Mm. Hey, Leanie. I know, right? We'll have to, if the other side would grow the big cucumbers like it's supposed to, we'd have Bigfoot cucumbers. Yeah, they turned out pretty good. And we're going to go cut. Ooh, I'm dropping stuff. Another one. Awesome. AJ's going to take this one off for us. All right. This one's, oh, yeah.
Oh my god, it's as big as my hand.
All right, there's number 2.
I'm going to cut this little flower piece off. Thanks.
All right. I'm going to put that in the water. And we got one more here that's ready to go. And he's hanging way over here. Let me get over here.
Where is he?
Oh, wow. That's got kind of a weird thing going on here. There we go. We're trying to keep our fingers.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, guys. So we got 3 that now the rest of them will grow like a weed because we've taken the biggers off and given them a break. So yeah, so what do you think? Not bad, eh? Yeah, they've gotten really fat. We could slice these and make big kosher pickles. So I'm going to try to get the whole idea behind the pickling thing here with these ones. And hopefully we can, I'll go give the dogs a couple pieces and let them try them out. This one guy walks to his garden. The dog just walks up to the little tiny cucumbers and just, it's so funny. And he just eats them right. I saw that the other day and I thought, this is funny. But yeah, we've got a lot going here. The tomatoes are about to go next, Leanie. I did thin those out though, because I remember when you saw them, you're like, oh my gosh. So the Romas are here and I took a lot of plants out of there. And so we're just seeing how they do. We're starting to get flowers. So I think my tomatoes will be coming soon. And then I can't wait for these because these are supposed to look like little mini pears. So it should be exciting. And then all this watermelon, I think I'm going to take some of these plants out and actually put them in cups and go ahead and post them. That way I don't overdo my watermelon area because I already had it kind of set for just the ones in there. But yeah, we've had so much rain, it's just flourished. The biggest plants are the ones that survived. They were in a solo cup. They were not the ones that were in the little. If you've seen the live where I was doing the planting in the little mini greenhouses, never again. I should have done way more research. Anyway, we'll just call that a beginner's thing. We have these bigger plants that were singly in cups, and they did good. This one here has like multiple vines growing together, plants growing together. So those ones, they're taking a little longer. That's why I have different sizes because they were stunted. They were in these. It was crazy. Even in a solo cup, you got to get them out and get them planted right away because they need a lot of water and a lot of space. And these are really big grow bags. Yeah, we probably should give it a little lift because what we're trying to do is train them up vertically. And so we've been trying to do that because, yeah, watermelon takes a lot of space. I've seen people take like crates and a whole like pallets and stick them out and then have them laying on it, but then they're on the ground and I don't want anything like messing with it. You know, like we have raccoons. I've seen a raccoon drinking water out of my pool one night, y'all. So there's no doubt in my mind that he'd be over here trying to steal my watermelon. And we have this thing becomes a huge arch, and then it has netting to go over it to protect it too. So that's a plus. Really good deal on Amazon. We've had to do a whole lot of. I've had to do because we don't have like a big, property of our own, like that we don't lease. So if I did, I would just be gardening right out of the ground with everything. But this is I'm going to call it the pallet garden. I purchased different things to grow different stuff in because you never know when you got to move something. And if it's permanent, you can't move it. So that's what we decided to do. And this is our old shed still, which is eventually going to not be that shed anymore. That'll be eventually the color of the back of the house. But what we're going to put up here that we haven't got up here yet is a really nice sign that says Silver Garden to represent the family. Hi, Mary Jane Doe. She sent a cucumber. I would take you over and show you, hun, if you just came in. We just cut open the very first cucumber.
I
And
think Dad went to take Johnny some cucumbers.
did he? Okay. And then these are the last two. So we had 3 total that were red. These look like they could have been pulled sooner.
Look at how good like the water is doing
Yeah.
to it because it's pulling all of it off.
So basically, I didn't want to do it though before we went live. We thought it'd be fun to pick our first cucumbers with y'all and sharing the excitement of beginners growing vegetables. Now I'm going to take this plant back up front, but I brought it back here just to show you guys that this is a single cucumber plant that was in a very small pot and was very much did not have enough soil for what it needed. So it had been stunted, and I couldn't figure out why I planted it the same day as these. And I brought it out to show you the difference because these are vined all the way up from the bottoms. This one's about 3 steps behind. But what I had done was I had done some research and found this really great organic fertilizer that really helps your blooms and your plants and your veggies grow better, especially if they've been stunted for any reason. So I got some. Hi, Peachy. And I had a couple of them, and only one took out of the pot. So we put it in here in the bigger pot, got it all set up, trimmed my bottom leaves off that were unnecessary, the little sucker leaves. And then it's just interesting because there'll be flowers at the end of the cucumber, right? But it has a pokey stem. And these flowers down here, it's just a little bitty root. So these ones can actually, according to the guy, come off because you want more of your nutrients to go into your plant to get your cucumbers, not into these. So I'm going to pop this little flower off. And I have to figure out which ones are which so I don't take the wrong things off. But the leaves out here from up front are in great shape because there's obviously not a bug problem up there like there is back here. So these are a little different. There's a lot more sun back here. But yeah, I just wanted to get an idea. And so I found this neat cage. It's called a pot cage. You know, for a tomato cage or cucumber or whatever. He puts it right inside of your flower pot. And then this builds all the way up to 67 inches and has like a mushroom top shape at the top so the vines can come out through. So this is, yeah, just another, but you guys, this plant, from the time I transplanted it, I wish I would have taken more pictures, y'all. I've been so busy, is 3 times the size as it was in just a little over a week and a half. So, and a cucumber starting. So I'm really proud of that. But yeah, I just had to bring it back here to compare it. And then that Bigfoot potato down in here, boy, going wild. I've had a couple people come over and buy some potato slips from me. Now, the ones that you've planted as slips, y'all, are in here. You can't take anything off of those. Those are the plant that are growing above the potatoes underneath. But this one, because we started it in water and it already had produced slips by itself, and it had the under roots, those are growing potatoes underneath it, but there's still slips up here that can be taken off and it won't affect the plant. So there's the difference because of how we started them. But yeah, this thing's doing good. And like I said, we've had a lot of rain. It feels like things need watered, but I'll water them tonight. I did water everything a little bit last night, but you never know when it's going to rain around here anymore. We've had so much unpredictable weather that you can't even.
It sprinkled yesterday.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I just watered everything. It's going to rain. And then it didn't. Just a little bit of sprinkling. But yeah, so I guess. Beachy, did you see them? Look at these bad boys, Beachy. Aren't you proud of me? I think you came in right after we. Okay. We just cut some fresh ones, but here's the cut version. And me and AJ and Corey shared the first cucumber together. And I think he might have taken Johnny, his version, or his part. And the dogs will probably want to try some. But yeah, I'll probably take these in and get them cold and nice and chilled. And then we'll go from there. All right, hold that for 1 minute. Dump this water. Baking soda cleans veggies really good, gets all the bacteria off. So give it another rinse. Oh, Yeah, I think they should be good to go now. I just poured that on my leg, but that was refreshing. Quite refreshing. So yeah, so that's what we got so far, guys. I'm just excited we're able to enjoy some part of what we've been growing, because there for a while I was getting worried, but I didn't know that I needed to be doing
This one's big.
a lot of different stuff like pruning. So I'm learning the pruning thing.
Big as my hand.
On everything, the flower plants and the others. The cucumbers look better than I do today.
So am I.
We're all like hiding behind the sun here. All right. Well,
one over there looked like it was gonna explode.
I know it really is. It's like a fatty. Like
It's fat.
I don't know. Yeah.
So look at this one. It's like small, and then this one's just over here looking like it's gonna explode. It looks weird. I guess that's how it works. But that one's
some
just
of
weird.
them that are smaller, we could do even like little mini pickles, but we want to get them a little bigger than that. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're just growing everywhere now. I'm just so happy. These plants are doing great. I hope that the other side does produce y'all, but if it doesn't, at least we got these guys over here and our guy over there. So not sure. Like I said, I don't think I did anything wrong. I tried to get rid of sucker leaves, which there's still a few of them on here, so I might need to go in and get rid of maybe even this, because this is the main vine. But I was afraid something might try to grow in there, and I didn't want to go off with them too soon. But yeah, we just haven't seen them I was expecting to see on this side by now. So who knows? We'll see. We'll still wait and see what happens. I think that I actually found one the other day, just barely starting over here, and I went to take another leaf off, and I think I cut it too. And then I was really bummed. So
I mean, they are kind of like a different type of freaking cucumber. I couldn't find the word.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And so I don't know. And that one
They're
now,
just super big.
I don't know if that guy's going to make it, but we'll let it try. Because it looks like the other, that big one.
The other one I found, it's like gone. So yeah, it's all shriveled up. Look at this one. That was the yellow one I found. It's gone now.
Yeah. So I might have to cut a couple of them off then.
That one's dead. It's just sitting there.
We don't want anything dead, because anything that's not doing good could be taking away from anything that we want.
That one right there, maybe?
You think this one's
because the yellow one that I found, that was the other one we just cut. It's gone. It's dead.
I'm gonna clip a couple of these flowers off, because these are not the ones that grow on the way you can tell is the end of it would be fuzzy. Not sure what that is. There's a lot of them over here like this. So this is a sucker leaf right here. That's what these are. And these are not going to produce anything like that. So we're going to get that off there. There's another cucumber starting on that. Oh, on two of them. Look, on that one in here. So that's good. So we'll leave those alone.
Mini.
I'll pop that flower off.
This one's, I don't know. Oh, there's one starting right there, I think.
Is there? So yeah, we're just trying to
get all the dead vines.
Getting rid of the dead. And then the other key was I was having good and bad days, and it was because I didn't realize just how much water these need. Watermelon and cucumber are nothing but water, so they need a lot of water. And the key to getting them to not dry out so much back here in all this sun was us putting mulch in. The mulch, as soon as that went down, and we got a couple good rains, everything started going good. So that's a big help, for sure. All right. There's always something to call when the person's doing something. So,
and I feel like the mulch really helps after you put it back in, because like when you put it in, before you put it in, they were like kind of not like growing, and then when you put it in, they started thriving.
It really kept the moisture in there instead of it, because basically it's been so humid that it just takes the heat, the moisture right out of the soil. Even if, I mean, this is full sun back here for everything, basically. The only thing getting a little shade is, I guess, the tomato plant right there. But yeah, so this is what we got going on back here. Now we're going to go up to the front and show you the landscaping that we've been working on. OMG. I'm so hot. It's like so hot back here. You can only be back here for a short time. And then it's like, nope. All right, here we go. We're going on a walk, guys. Going from the front to the back, get a little shade here in between. These are the days when you want to stick your face even in a fountain pool. Here we go. Here it is, guys. Oh, should I stick my face in? Yeah, I know. And the water's warm because everything's so hot. There's no relief there. Oh, I had that stuck to my hand. Did not wash my hand off from grabbing that, so I'm going to do that real quick. Hold on, everybody. Put me food in. I'm just going to take some back there and grab paper towels. Did you let Johnny try some? Yeah. What about the dogs? Yeah, those three. There you go. All right, the dogs are going to try the cucumbers now. So there we go. The dogs are up. We're going to get their taste test. I know they love watermelon. We give them a lot of watermelon. They love it, especially when it's hot out. Okay, here we go. All right, so I don't know, but I know I did a short a long while back, and I was kind of doing a tour of the fountains and stuff. You have some. So we went through and thinned out these hostas. They were really big. They pretty much took out. So if you see the area where the mulch is, they were pretty much filling all that up. And so, oh, there's something weird on the plant. Okay, well, we'll just get rid of those, whatever those were. Anyway, so, and I had the Easter lilies that I got on Mother's Day, and we needed to get them planted, and it took us forever too, but we finally got them in. And so we kind of cleared out some hostas to make some space for these. And I did not realize just how much you have to go through and constantly pick up and fix plants and weeds all the time, y'all. So there's like, hi, Tippos. Yeah, exactly. All right, so around here we've got more hostas, and they've all bloomed, of course. And so I've got a bucket here of forget-me-nots. They haven't quite bloomed yet because they were also a part of my greenhouse scheme. I'm going to call it because it was crazy. I would never do that again. Just wait for it to be time and garden everything at once, get everything planted. So those got put several seeds into one little planter too. That's why there's 3 plants together like that. So some of those I had to put back that way when I planted them so it wouldn't kill them because they're connected. I took the roots out, looked at them, and there was just no way. So we've got that. This looks really neat at night because everything's lit up. We got the double turtle with the little succulents on it. And then this is a new little bird bathy thing. It has a little light on it. And I got the forget-me-nots down here, but I knew when I put them down there, they're just going to be too tall for that because they're not supposed to normally be this tall of a plant, but because when I planted in those little greenhouses, they had the really deep, space, and I didn't plant the seeds at the top like you're supposed to. I planted them down too far. I learned. So these are about to come out of here because we've got one here. It's about to bloom, and I'm going to move those. And then this is a bush that I bought to put in the ground because I love the colors. It'll bloom like kind of this color, purples, blues. I got a couple pots there, keeping them off the ground for now, just to give it time to start off. But that's kind of replacing the old hosta that was in the middle. And then, hey, hon, you want to put some water in this for me? I forgot to put it in this one this morning, but we got the bird bath with the planter under it, which these flowers are crazy. They go all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason, but there was one over here and I had to take it out, so they're kind of off balance now. But yeah, we're gonna give that one a tug and get it out of there because I don't feel like that's really doing any good in there. That's the thing with these little planters underneath. These are fun, but they're not because yeah, they don't really favor having multiple pieces put in them. If that makes sense, multiple pieces put in them. I just mean like multiple plants. And what I did was I got all those little planters and I broke the flower and didn't realize that you put just one of those in everything. You don't put multiple. planter things in. Yeah. So if you've got 6 trays together, each one of those is an individual plant. I was planting things multiples together. That's where I went wrong. But like I said, I'm a beginner on this stuff, so I'm just trying. And then we got Bill turtle with succulents and a butterfly, which, like I said, at night all this lights up, so it really looks nice. We're gonna add some water because this isn't the fountain. This is one of my bigger fountains, and it's really meant for over the top too. It's really meant for a much bigger space, like even a pool. I'm looking for a plastic tub so that we can put it in something like that where it has, as long as the fountain can come down and recirculate, you don't have to put a lot of water in them. But that doesn't always work out. So anyway, and then this was the biggest hosta. So I just went around and, well, I did clean all these petals up. So I'm not real happy with these flowers because all it does is blow wind and all they do is fall off all over the place. So, but yeah, I cleaned up all this and put all the mulch in. I think it looks pretty good. It's my first time ever doing this kind of extensive stuff. I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. And so there's a few things I've had to transplant and move because I'm learning. But I just think it definitely looks like a nice facelift. I've actually had people stop by when they're walking their dogs or just out walking themselves and compliment me on the yard and how nice everything looks, and it really makes you feel good. You know, because it's my first time doing this much stuff and trying to get myself motivated and get out of the depression stage and lose weight, try to be productive, learn how to grow food so that I can save a little money on, you know, since I've made homemade dog food, that really helps me a lot. We've created this nice little space for the family where we have fountains, flowers, beautiful things so that everybody can just sit here and chill. I even had an officer stop by looking for somebody in the neighborhood recently, and he was standing right there and scared me to death because he came out of nowhere. And he was trying to talk to me, and during the whole thing, he says to me, I could sit here all day and listen to this fountain because it was relaxing. And so, yeah, it was just funny. So I was making a joke. I told the girls, I said, my fountain brings all the cops to the yard. So, yeah, haha, right? Well, I'm not putting coffee and donuts out, so it's a fountain or nothing. Anyway, but yeah, so that's what we've been busy doing is growing food and landscaping. It's a lot of work, taking care of everything. The other day, we had a lot of rain. We've had a lot of rain before, and I've never had anything in my pool other than like a little bit of dirt and stuff. This time, y'all, I don't know what was in the air. I don't know what was in the rain. I'm just saying. But it was green algae so bad the next day. I thought somebody tinkled in it. I'm just saying. And, well, obviously, hi, Jessica. Obviously, that didn't happen. It was algae. I did, though, remember that the last time we cleaned it, I forgot to put the fountain. It's like a fountain conditioner stuff that you put in the water so that it won't get nasty. And I forgot to do that. So obviously that stuff works, and now I know. So we were at like 12:30 the other night trying to do the pool in the dark. It was funny. Anyway, and so yeah, and so I've moved some plants along the way. I had this hanging plant and the marigolds hanging up there at one time on the hooks, and they were getting too much sun and drying out too much, and they weren't blooming. They were just dying on me. So I moved them back to the original places, and guess what? Everything's coming back alive. We're starting to get the pretty blooms on here that kind of, I say it looks like a jellyfish, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, I got that for Mother's Day for my son, and so some really cool stuff, you guys. These ones is a perfect example. With my very first planters I got were some of these rectangular ones, and the process was to put anything that was outgrowing anything else before we were ready to plant it there. Oh, hush now. I know, Tiffles. I'm sorry, but I'm trying. I'm trying. My camera girl went inside for a minute, but this was 2 bunches. So, like in those little trays, 2 bunches of flowers, and they spread out. So I planted one on one side, one on the other, knowing that they would probably expand. So this is okay for this, but these little buckets, each one of these y'all has 2 sets of those in them. So that's why. But I kind of like them. I think it makes it look full and nice. These have done really good. Everything does good. That once I put mulch and everything, so the water wouldn't keep getting absorbed out of it. Everything's doing really good. This forget-me-not is not doing very good up here. I don't know what it is about this wood or this area, but it's really hard on plants. I'm not sure. I guess I didn't think about all that when I put them here, that some of them might not be able to handle the constant heat, but I mean, this does kind of protect them a little bit, part of the day, part of the sun. This was growing in with these ones that got waterlogged, and they were in these buckets, and these are way too big for that, so I took the baby one that was still good, got it in here, and it's coming back to life. And then these that got weather beat in the rain, that last rainstorms we had, it's starting to produce new pieces. So I think we might have saved these by just getting them in something bigger. So there's that, y'all. Telling you, here's my crazy out of the sun hangout space. Yeah, and then over here we have the original. I say the original. 2 sweet potatoes that started everything. That started the slips growing on them. I've had these 2. So those are 2 full sweet potatoes. And then this is just a cut off piece of a sweet potato. And this one's a itty bitty cut off piece of a sweet potato. And they will grow potato after potato after potato, slip off of it. And then all these grow more sweet potatoes once you put them in soil. So I got all those going. I've started those in April. And then the Bigfoot one back there that's in the orange grow bag, it, as y'all know, I had started it because of something I saw on YouTube about growing vegetables out of vegetables. And I thought, oh, let's see how this works. So I went and put it in water with the toothpicks in the side. With that potato was so big, I had to use screws that you use for the grow. And put it in water till it had roots. I think it was in the water for 4 months. And it was growing slips, little roots out of it the whole time, slips. So I constantly had slips. And so I'll come over here and show you. Hold on. Hey, can you grab this just for a second? It's really loud. Anyway, all right, let me get these out. And these are the ones that I've pulled off of those potatoes. And then you put them in water. This one was just done, so it doesn't have any roots yet, but you get them in there, you put them in the water, keep them in there to get ready to plant them. And then I got a couple smaller ones here. You see, they get lots of good roots on them, and then you just get those roots right down in some dirt and get them all tucked in real nice. And put plenty of water down in there though when you plant these, because can you take that tray in, honey, with the cucumbers? Hi, cucumbers. We're gonna get you cold. They tasted really good, even though they're a bit warm. All we needed was a little slip of ranch, and we'd have been set.
The dogs absolutely love it.
Yeah, so this is a celebration day of cucumber awareness. Obviously, I'm right-handed, so maybe that's why the right side cucumbers did better. My left hand messed up something on the left side, but I'm holding out hope that they'll come around. That we'll eventually have some cucumbers over there. I think I just had to really clean up. There was a couple plants that I took out originally that were no good, that weren't doing good. They were obviously, so I was looking for the strongest ones that are rooted the best to leave in, which I did. And then I did the suckers and removed those. So I think now that I've got it really cleaned up, it's just a matter of getting it going, or, yeah. Because they've got plenty of Miracle Grow and, like they've been fed. The only thing I didn't get a chance to feed them was that new organic fertilizer that I had gotten, that I just recently used on a lot of other stuff. But I know it works good because I think we planted the watermelon with it, a couple other plants, and everything's taken off. So I think the single cucumber plant, I did the same thing. And it grew 3 times its size in a very short time. So what's everybody else doing out there? Is it hot where you're at? Because it's sure hot here. It's like a sauna, you guys. We just stepped underneath this awning, and it's like 20 degrees cooler. And see, this is the time of the day you can see the sunline where our house shadows this portion, however tall the house is of the side of the yard. But other than that, everything that's in the, is sun all day long back there where everything's growing. The front is part sun, part shade. So I feel like things get a lot less, they stay watered better, and the water content stays. I have to water a lot less up there than everything in the back. Making quick call. Be right back. Alrighty then. Tipple says, Beachy says it sounds like an old man tinkling. Yeah, that one fountain, it does, yeah. But I have it up on the porch now. Here, I'll take you guys. Move 10 things out of my way so I don't trip over them. But yeah, up here's the little fountain. This is the bird fountain. And it sits up here now. That way when I'm talking to the girls, they don't hear the fountain. It used to be right by my head. Up here we have, well, I found these growing in one of my watermelon cups. One of watermelon plant cups, and they're two tomato plants, basically. I just tossed them in here just, for whatever. And this is the only carrot that survived when I cut the carrot top and planted in the dirt. This is what, it's been a slow growing plant, but yeah, so that's what this is. Probably needs watered. And then this is my pineapple parmalade plant, which is basically an indoor plant, but like I said, I don't have good sun access inside because we have tinted windows, so I just bring it out during the day and take it in at night. Sometimes I leave it out here, but last time I did, it started raining before I could get back to it, and I was a little concerned. And here my husband and daughter are, well, they we did 4 or 5. I think maybe there's 5 apple seeds planted down in here. Haven't seen anything happen yet. Who knows? Only one of the seeds was actually had split and had the little green tail that we were doing in the wet paper towel method. So I don't know if anything will grow in there, but I'm letting them try it. See what comes of it. But yeah, this carrot plant, it's a bit dry. I think eventually what this is supposed to do is it'll produce a plant that will produce seeds, and those seeds that fall off of this carrot, then that's what you plant. Well, I'm gonna put myself out here, and I gotta pop this because the one thing I noticed is when anything's dying, if you get rid of it, then more life goes to the stuff that is doing well, and if it doesn't have to try to provide nutrients to things that aren't going to make it, then the other stuff does better. So we'll just see how that goes. It's weird that these are purple almost, like the leaves. I don't know. It's probably just the darkness of the because it's so hot up here on this deck certain times of the day. But it's also partially shaded, so it's kind of nice that way. I'm trying to figure out what we did with all the water bottles. Oh, we left them all in the back. No, he brought them back up here. Water bottles. Well, I don't know. Oh, they're all over there. Okay, he's refilled them. So I'll get to that, and then we'll water this bad guy right here later. Like I said, all it takes is a couple hours on the top of here, and anything that's wet will be dry. So there's that. Alrighty, I got a gal coming over. So far, I've sold 2 sweet potato slips. I decided to do a posting on Marketplace. I thought, why not? You know, why not? And it's gone pretty well. I got another lady coming over. I was trying to explain, like you want to plan them, you want the slips. If you want something that you're going to just take slips off of, some people like to eat the leaves and that. So there's that. Here's my peacock planters, y'all, that I haven't got any plants for yet. I got to find something that's very shallow. Look how shallow these are. These doggone things, y'all, look so big on Amazon. I was so excited. And then I'm like, oh, wow. So I'm going to have to do something like really small flowers that don't need a lot of soil in there. So, but yeah. So this is our makeshift kitchen that we made for outdoors. It's got really nice wood on it, but we have this on here because it's rained so much because we do not want it to get ruined before we get it stained. But so we've got the fridge here that's from the camper, um, an old camper out here for our outdoor fridge and keeps things nice and cold. And then I got this on Marketplace for like $20. It's got wheels, drawers that pull out, so we can keep all of our supplies in there. Not sure, that's just an extra cup. I got this cool patio sign. I love it, but I need to put it somewhere, so we're gonna put doors on the front of this, and then we'll have this sign hanging there. But yeah, this is what it says: "Chilling and growing, y'all. Chilling and growing." So yeah, so I really like this sign. I think it's really neat. I was gonna make a post for it, and then I thought it would look good there, but that would be in the way of the lights. And this back deck little thing here is about to go eventually to our back door. We build a different situation out here. So yeah, so this we've decided we're going to put a door on the front of that. That way we can lock up our fridge so no one's just helping themselves. And when we do that, then that would be the perfect place to put the sign, I think, right there on the front door. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, so I mean, when it's not windy out here, it's really comfortable and relaxing. Um, Cooler than obviously sitting just under the patio. I mean, we had the umbrella to the patio table. Now that we've got this up, it won't fit because of the way everything's situated around here. So this table needs to move a little bit. But yeah, no, I like to do live sometimes in the evening because at night everything solar here lights up just so wild. And it just like they all come on at different times too, just one behind the other. This is my palm tree. I believe in a couple of my first lives, this would have been sitting over by the fountain area before we had the back on it and had finished all that. It was just sitting there. Now I've had to do some trimming to that as well, as you can see. I've had to take off some stuff because we've had some pretty dead branches here. These are kind of indoor, but they can be outside. They need sun. And my biggest thing is, like I said, not enough sun in the house. But we've got a couple new palm blooms that are going to be opening soon. So my friend Beachy tells me to give him a little help once in a while, but be gentle. And then I have there's another one. There's another one. That's the big one. Oh, and then right here, we've got another one that's gonna bloom. So it's kind of like some of these other plants and flowers. You take stuff off as it dies, so that everything else can stay healthy, and they rebloom. Everything seems to rebloom. So that's pretty cool. At least that's the case there. Oh, all right, gonna sit down. Take a few minute break here. I'm telling you guys, I think I've lost like 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks and probably 20 overall just in the last 2 months, just gardening and sweating and not eating as much because when it's hot, you don't eat as much. You're not as hungry. You want to drink a lot of fluids. So I got my handy dandy from my cruise last year when I was on Pearl Island in the Bahamas. It was the only thing that I could take back with me that wouldn't cause any problems with my luggage. Something I could hold in my hand. So this was one of my souvenirs. Oh, yeah. The ice, of course, the ice that I filled it full of is already water now. My husband is so funny. The minute I started the live, the neighbors started mowing. I was like, if it ain't raining, it ain't windy. Uh, Somebody's mowing the yard, or my husband's. Then that dude quit, and we came up here, and then he started sanding. I was like, that's so funny. Hey, yo. All right. Well, Bigfoot is on his way to help a dear friend that's having a rough day, and then later this evening we have a movie passes to the new Superman movie, y'all. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I mean, I used to with the kids watch all that stuff. And I told my husband, I said, let me see a preview because they just keep recreating all Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, y'all have been recreated so many times. I'm just like, how many times can you show the beginning storyline and it just keep being different people? But I guess, hey, whatever makes money, right? So it didn't look bad. So I thought, okay, let's go. You know, up here Tuesday nights is if you have a movie pass, they have $6 movies, and if y'all know how much movies cost nowadays, that's a bargain, and you get popcorn with that. So yeah, we're gonna do that and do a late one. That way we get past dinner. Then you're just watching a movie and relaxed. You're not like hungry, wanting to eat 20 pounds of stuff. You know what I mean? Um, so we're gonna do that, and then that way also the dogs have been fed and they're kind of more chill at night. So I ain't been to a late movie in a long time. First we thought we'd go to an early one, and then they didn't have any like what I would consider a matinee. They didn't have anything like that. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'm just trying to keep up, make sure that I can get rid of some of these things because I think I got excited thinking if some things don't grow, I'll just plant more, and I did not need to plant more watermelon by any means of the word. I'm just saying, and um, because I didn't know what the fate of the watermelons that I had started. They've been stunted for so long. We would have already had for sure quite a bit of watermelon, I believe, or at least a real good start to them if I would have been able to get them outside and planted in the ground like they were supposed to be when they were supposed to be. And also, I would like to say that I'm usually like a white ghost. 2 years, 2 knee injuries, haven't been outside a whole lot other than to come and go and stuff, but haven't really been out like doing all this work because I always figured so much work inside the house that it's hard to do, outside and inside. But with the food costs and the way things are nowadays, and me eventually wanting to get off grid and live out away from everything, I want to get this all down pat. What grows good? What foods can sustain us? What foods can I feed my dogs as well so that we can sustain ourselves and our pets? And so I basically grew the stuff that we eat and they eat. I'm not a sweet potato person, but the dogs die for it. So this is that. And what we'll be doing is once a week I will be doing live like I was planning to do originally to keep everybody up to date because we've got new stuff planted so we can watch these develop. Like I said, baby carrots, gourmet mixed baby lettuce, and romaine lettuce is what we've got out here. And so those are, and you guys, when we planted these yesterday, 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch planting depth. Okay, y'all, that's like nothing, okay? It's barely under there. And the seeds are minuscule. I couldn't even hold on to them. She like had to hold them, like grab them, put them in my hand. I had to pick them up. Couldn't use a glove because there's no way you're holding on to those with a glove. So it was wild. It was wild. But yeah, so we're figuring things out. And, like I said, we built the whole garden out of pallets that didn't cost us a thing. It may not be exactly the way we originally wanted to do it, but we had to figure out what would work where. And so, and then they had free mulch up front because they changed out the playground up front to this different material. And they scooped up all that mulch. And basically yeah. So that was really neat that we didn't have to buy this too. The only mulch I bought was my organic mulch that's for these sticky weeds. I do not like them. They are mean. No, just saying. And I wish my husband would have sprayed weed killer, you guys. I could shoot him before we mulched all this shit. I was like, dude, you know how much freaking weed pulling we're still going to be doing? A lot. So anyway, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, his sprayer broke on it, so now he's got to go get a new one before he can even spray the weed killer. So I put all that mulch up front, worked my butt off. I did all that myself, by the way. I didn't have no help. And yeah, that was the outcome of it. This bird bath was up front, and I brought it back here for the birds back here to have, which I actually need to clean out. So what I figured out about this bird bath is that I think they bathe in it. They don't drink out of this or anything. But this was one of those bird baths where it had the place for a feeder up here, and then drinking down here. But these guys like this as a bath. And I was wondering why it was so dirty, so I took a little fountain that I had back here out, because yeah, otherwise I have no bath. So we're gonna grab the hose. I think I can stretch it up, and I'll just get water bottles. They work better. As soon as you get back there in that heat, you want to melt. Like I'm sweating like a dog. I couldn't put makeup on. I couldn't do anything if I wanted to because there's just no doing it. It's a very hot summer. It's all right though. By next year on my birthday, which my birthday's coming up Sunday, the 27th, I will be a lot thinner. I may not have made it completely by this year because I didn't get started soon enough, but my gosh, I think I got a good feeling about it. I think next year, 2026, I'm going to be down to 40, 50 pounds I want to get down to. And yes, you guys are on the ground right now for a minute, but I am got a left hand that needs surgery badly. And when I wake up in the morning, it takes a long time before that hand even works a little bit. It's numb all the time. So yeah, every couple days, we give the birds some fresh water. There we go, birds. You're on. Here we go. All right, I picked up grass too. All right. Yeah, these marigolds have gotten so bad at one point from hanging up over on the little shepherd's hooks up front. And I was worried back here there's even more sun. But lunch lady told me, she's like, yeah, don't hang those there. But I brought them back here, and I went in and I cleaned up all the dead off of them too. Because what was happening was I wasn't realizing until my dear friend Beachy said, hey, you need to pop all those dead flowers off, all the dead stuff, so that the good stuff can live. And so now that and then literally, I'm not even lying, like I did it one day. Next day, I came back here and it had rained and everything like that. And these were doing great. Just great. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I saved it. Because there was another plant my son got me. This one and the one up front that looks like the jellyfish. I can't remember the name of it, but that's just what we call it. But these just are starting to get vibrant again. Which now I do the test. And it's still got a little bit of water, but they could use a little tonight. The weight of these hangers is kind of how you determine how dry they are, too. I think they put too many flowers in them. I know they want them to flourish and be full. But, man, when I got this thing, the roots were already coming out the bottom. I think I'm going to have my husband add a couple more holes in that, though, because it only has one big hole. And that's not much for all those plants. But, yeah, I need to get this one back up front. I need to go get my helper to carry this for me because I don't want to leave this one back here because I'm testing growth areas and deciding which parts and places around here grow things the best and, that kind of stuff like that. So I'm going to need help carrying that up. Y'all, I can't even see. I got sweat rolling in my eyes and I got to get to the paper towel ASAP. Usually I have a sweat rag with me, but I came out here without it, so that's my fault. All right, empty water bottle. Should have left that over there. Okay. This is falling down. I'll set you guys on the table for 2 seconds. Now, if I connect these curtains like I was going to, and they'll actually stay together. Because last time we had a really bad storm, not in my whole thing, but we just took the cover off and we let it rain, make it easier. But what happened was when we did that, I didn't know that they were going to do that. So I started taking everything off instead of leaving the bungee cords, which is basically our curtain lines up there. Y'all, oh my goodness, so silly. And I think my fish fountain is due for a upgrade. He needs cleaned. So I mean, not an upgrade, but cleaned. These fountains are a lot of work to keep clean. That's all I have to say about that. And but it's worth it. It's nice to listen to them. I just try to keep the water clean. Um, the one with the fish, it's been being weird. It's like sometimes it wants to run and it'll spit really high, and other times it kind of goes down. And, you know, the one day there was water everywhere out here, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's so much water? Well, we balanced it out a whole bunch of times, but this thing, you guys, is so silly. The other day it was spitting clear up to here, but yeah, it's my fishy fountain. Only has 3 little tiny holes down along in this third tier that the water comes back up through and pumps through. So I think sometimes that's why when we turn it off and turn it back on, it takes a little bit to get started again. Um, yeah, we were out here the other day and it was raining. We stayed pretty dry. As long as it don't get windy and make this whole piece right here come forward. Mr. Parrot. I love this parrot, y'all. It's cool. Look at the colors on that. It's vibrant. Parrot with a hat on. I mean, my buddy. Oh my goodness. So yeah. So now that's why I've been busy. Dealing with all growing things, planting things, trying to figure out how to keep everything alive, trying to feed dogs, take care of my fish, Vegas, and kiddos, and Bigfoot. A lot going on. But if you're not busy, what else can you do, right? If you're not busy, you're probably bored or have too much time to think about things that make us uh, think about too many things, right? Think about stuff that might not be so much fun. I'm hitting the wrong buttons, guys, because that's what StreamYard came up with some new buttons, a new little like setup, and it's so different. uh, oh my goodness. Wow, guys. Yeah, we don't have a lot of chatters today, but hopefully everybody will get a chance to rewatch if they weren't here or didn't get to come in and see the cucumber removal and cucumber tasting. But it's exciting to know that something went right, right? We got things are starting to get there. So, um, and it's the first time, the kids have ever done any gardening like this, growing food. So we're trying to, like teach them something. It's a good lesson. It's something to do besides the normal stuff we do in the summer where everybody wants to go do all the outdoor stuff, which we love to do. But it doesn't hurt sometimes when you don't have a lot of cash to just hang out, do some fun stuff at home, go to the park, play frisbee golf, things like that. Some stuff, there's a lot of things to do still, even though it doesn't like that don't cost a lot of money. Maybe a little gas to drive up the road or something, but we're trying to do a little bit of summer where there's a lot of fun, but yet there's times in between where we're just chilling, grilling out, just like the sign says, chilling and grilling, doing gardening with the kids. I know my stepson and his dad, they both made a outdoor kitchen thing together, made the big box and got it all custom made for everything to fit in. We just got to get some outdoor stain to clear coat it so it'll stay waterproof. But there's been a lot of projects. I think the only thing on landscaping left is not my part because I did what I had to do. It's the other side of the house where like the air conditioner and that like electric box and stuff is there was a lot of weeds. I know Bigfoot went and pulled them all because he came around with the wheelbarrow, y'all, full of so much stuff. I was like, what the hell is that? It was weeds they looked like trees. They were so big because we've never messed with them for a long time. And so he was going to clean that area up and then get the weed spray, which we got to get a sprayer, and then mulch that all in. So eventually that other side will be done, but just trying to do one side at a time. Got the front. The front was challenging. I was really, really kind of having a rough day that day, and I kept looking at that hosta, and I'd wanted that out before it ever even bloomed. Bigfoot would not pull that thing out to save his life, and I just got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm pulling it out, and I had already had like some other stuff that had come up where I was really annoyed because there's people that were being really hateful because we know the world's full of that. Nobody in the YouTube world, but real life people doing their things. You know how it is. And so I was like, you know what? I got to get rid of this frustration over all that. Let me just, trim up this a little bit. And so it had rained for 2 days, so the soil was just drenched. And I go to tug a little bit, right, on one of them, and then like it was a smaller version of it, but the whole plant and everything came out. I'm like, well, shit, that was easy. So I got to another area, and before I knew it, y'all, that whole entire hosta was laying in our front yard in different hunks. Trust me, and I enjoyed every minute of that. I really did. It was really stress relieving. So if you have anything that needs soul, liver, guitar, anything like that, I recommend doing that. So, if I would have tried to react to what was upsetting me, there literally wouldn't have been a decent outcome in any way, shape, or form. So that was like, oh, I thought, hey, that really helped. As I was doing it, I was like, man, it's so bad. I mean, but yeah, so yeah, I thought it was cool. It's exciting. It worked, and I got something accomplished. And then it just went from there because I had already done these ones up here. I'd already started on them. When in the heck, my shirt, I just realized the thread is like ripping all out of it. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to get some scissors. Wow. It's a lot to maintain all this stuff, though. I have to say that I can see why people who have big properties have gardens. There's no doubt in my mind that this is a multiple person thing. Okay. Now, my neighbor lady, she's so sweet. She's got just a little bit of everything, right? She's by herself, She's got one tomato, like two tomato plants on her porch. She showed them to me. And then she's got little tomatoes already. And then a little tiny row of hostas against her shed that have been like 30-year-old hostas that have been maintained and kept that size forever. So these ones my husband planted years ago, and he literally just put them in and they flourish. They grow wild. So he'd never maintain them. He just left them do what they wanted to do. So yeah. So I had quite the challenge at the front. It was a lot of work. I want to say it probably took me maybe an hour and a half altogether to do everything from tearing them up and then mulching. I did like the first like part of the mulch, and then I got to the middle, and we had to dig to make a nice big hole for that uh the new bush to go, which it's a hygienius bush, beautiful blooms, but it's a perennial. It'll come back every year. It hibernates in the ground just like the hostas do, and then blooms in the spring and summer. So I wanted something like that. I don't want to get into too many things that are just annuals because you don't ever get them back. I can see like the little ones that the girls got me, the annual like little flower trays. Those are fine because you might want to change up each year what color you go with or whatever, things like that. But yeah, I was gonna say, how's my sound? I don't think we really got anybody in the chat. Everybody's kind of on standby, or my chat's stuck. Nope, it's fine. I got it. But yeah, so it's been a little while, and I wanted to keep more of an update going. But we went from the greenhouse disaster to trying to get stuff put in places where it could be in between. I just couldn't move. I had nowhere to put anything until we could get outside and like really start getting our planters ready. And I didn't know what I wanted to put in what yet, so I just started looking on Amazon and like, okay, well, we're gonna have to do this out of big planters or grow bags or something in order so we can have it movable, and because you want something that you can move around. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, who knows? Our weather's crazy sometimes. You know what I mean? We've kind of got things set up to where we could easily move them and cluster them together. If we were going to have a horrible storm, we could move them all the way over to one side of the shed, being why the one that is up against the shed. All right, I just saw a lady drive by with the kid in her lap, helping steer the car. That was odd. Sorry, but I just to throw that out there. No, you're cool, Mary Jane Doe. Look, I do all sorts of stuff when I'm on live or if I'm like in a chat. I keep going when me and the girls are talking. we just, you just keep going. I mean, that's why they call them mobile phones, right? Remember back in the day when you had to, if you wanted to answer the phone, you usually had to leave the room, or I guess if you had a cordless phone. I loved my cordless phones before cell phones. The cordless phones were the thing, y'all. I'm just saying. And when I finally got my first one with an answering machine, because I'd never had anything with an answering machine, absolutely love that thing. Like the multiple headset unit, handset, I mean, where you'd have like the main one with the answering, and then you'd have another part of the phone with its own, like charging port that it sat on. But I loved those. This was like before the cell phones came out, and anybody barely had a landline anymore. That's what I had. I really liked that phone. I remember making the message with the kids when they were little. It was fun. We're not here right now. And if we were, we'd answer the phone unless we were busy. We always had funny little ones. We'd change it all the time. There's days when I wish you could just freeze your kids at a certain age, where like there's like this perfect like symphony of like a couple 2 to 5 years where between very very littles and very very older, they are just things kind of level out, and it's like we're growing, but we've got this much figured out, and we're halfway to the next part. You know what I mean? I still have a landline. Yeah, I know, right? I don't know. I just don't have one. I look, one phone ringing and anything else that's hooked to your phone is enough for me. Because I have a daughter that will call. If you don't answer right away, she thinks, I don't know, she has a panic attack, and she will just call, 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 call. And she'll call every device you have. If there's something else she could call, she'll call anybody that could be close to you. It's just, yeah. So I don't think I could do a landline again. I think I'm fine with this, but I'm sitting here thinking to myself, man, I got part of a sweet potato I got to cut up for the doggos for their din din. The worst thing is the rice, though. I'm not really sure how much I really care for the rice. Basically, I think they just use that in homemade dog food recipes as a filler. Um, it does take a lot of meat to make a lot of dog food if you're gonna make it and not put rice, or like I'll put all veggies in it. But I did do like last week. I had a couple batches that I didn't do rice in because I was checking my youngest dog Gizmo's stomach to see if that rice was maybe what was kind of upsetting his tummy. So I did a couple times without, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, we like to do a lot of things in the evening. That's when I'll like either early in the morning, or really really late at night. I'll be like gardening or out there picking out. I've done it without not, and that's why I'm all tan burnt. And I've never been tan in my life, but I am now, just because I spend a lot of time during the day when, yeah. Okay, well we're gonna go in the house, cool off for a second, say hi to the dogs, because my phone just said you're at 15%, and I'm like, really? Because I started out at 68. I have a charging unit and a three-way out here. I mean, we're all set up to be plugged in outside, but I'm wondering how long does that cord stretch? I can do it, guys. Mary Jane, hold down the fort for a second for me, hon. Like you're like, what are you talking about? I'm not up there with you. Just being silly. Anyway, I'll be right back. Okay. All right, got the charger. I think that the lady that's trying to get some slips from me might be looking for my house because I saw somebody driving around over and over and I thought, it's odd. Okay. All right. There we go. All right, guys. We're plugged in. It's a miracle. All right. There we go. Yeah, I think that lady trying to get some slips might be looking for my home. You guys, everybody's pretty much got marketplace where they live, I think. So, you know what I mean? It's really a good way to get stuff out there if you don't want to put on a whole garage sale, because that's a lot of work too, especially if you don't have a garage, right? I have 2 garages, but they're not here. So yeah, one gal came. Yeah, the pool. Was it? It's not full now. They haven't fixed it. I wish they'd fix it. I think we should get a discount on rent because our pool's down this year. The one year that everybody would have probably been interested in diving into it just to go off. Yeah, it must be something broke. I know they have a lot of people that live out here, so that there's no reason why the pool shouldn't be running. So any minute now, but yeah, I just put them at $3 a piece. And the lady that came yesterday, she was from another country, and she said that they like to eat the leaves of the sweet potato plant. So sweet potato slips for her would be something that would grow and produce a whole bunch of those for her, but she would have to. There's like a process, so you need the sweet potato in the soil, and then you grow it until it gets slips on it, or in the water, and then those you can take off and eat. So I should have probably taken her back to show her the ones that are grown, and maybe given her a couple of those long um, plants that are coming off the top of the sweet potato. Somebody's squeaking. Oh, it's the mailman truck. Why would he be? Oh, wow, it's the original mailman's truck. Hey, just back up. Oh, that's I haven't seen that in a while. Oh, they have this newer vehicle now. Okay, I think that might be the lady for the sweet potato slips, you guys.
Man.
No, it's a man. Okay, shh. That's funny. I'll be right back. Oh, so here's what we got ready to plant right here. And these are all got the roots, so they're ready to go in the soil.
Okay.
Otherwise, I have really big ones back there that are already on a plant growing, but they would have to get the root. You have to dip them in water.
Okay.
To plant them.
No,
So,
this will be fine.
so how many would you want?
Just 2, I guess.
2?
$3 each, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's got really good roots on. There you go.
Super. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
There we go, guys. It was a gentleman. I couldn't tell at first. I was corrected. But yeah. And so we'll just I let him go about I don't know, 4 to 6 inches, and then I cut them off. That way they have a nice bottom to them. When did you get the idea to sell? I just spoke to you this morning. What do you mean? No, I did. I think I did tell you girls, but you know how we all are when we're on the phone. We're all like doing different stuff at different times, and now my 360 just said my daughter is showing up to my front door, so she can ask me for $5 for a slushie, and I just made $6. Yeah, yeah. I figured I would. I mean, what am I going to do with all the slips? We had 6, 9, maybe 9 slips that I planted in 3 grow bags, which is insane because I don't know what the hell I think I'm doing with going to do with all those sweet potatoes. I know the dogs will eat them eventually, but we have to like once they grow and we pull them, we have to let them ferment for a while. They have to be stored a certain way before you use them because you can't eat them right away. Because a gentleman that's a great gardener, he told me that if you try to eat them too soon and don't let them ferment, they're very starchy tasting. So, you know, so yeah, so that was interesting. I love you too, huh? So there it is. I could have my daughter. Oh, we got to go get that other cucumber plant from the back before it gets attacked. The big one in the green pot. The one that we just took back there to show the difference in the sizes. Be right back, everybody. Keep chatting for me for a minute, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a cucumber so I can let the girls taste. I'm back, guys. All right, guys. So I went in and cut up another watermelon and gave all three dogs one piece at a time. Oh my goodness. Is that a real one though? Does anybody know about Ozzy Osbourne dying today? Or was it today? Today? Oh wow. Wow. I did not know that. Lots of bumblebees around here, y'all, but they just go inside of all the little flowers on every single one of the hostas, and they like just, yeah, they go inside the flower and then they pop back out. It's interesting. Right, I don't like the wasps, but the bumblebees. I mean, I was back there pruning the cucumbers out one day, and they were flying around behind me, and I would just move my arm out of the way, like, okay, get your flower. No, but Corey, there was a up in the shed under the thing. There was like nests up there, and we were back there the other day, and I was like, "What are we gonna do?" Because I don't want you to spray like wasp killer over top of my plants. So we put a plastic thing over top of everything. Because I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's gotta be poisonous." So yeah, yeah, it's really warm out. It's been a really warm summer. Oh, and now the fish is finally going. Here we go. Now the fish fountain's really kicking off, y'all. See, it does what it wants to. I've noticed when I turn it off at night and then plug it in the next day, it sometimes takes a while for that water to get up in there too, for it to be able to like pump through. But the other day we did everything we could, and that thing didn't want to do anything. And then I went and did something, came back out, and it was running like it was never off. It was so weird. But yeah. And then I had that's my fake plant that I got, and originally was like, oh, I'll hang that out there because on those hangers out there, obviously they were killing my flowers. But I stuck that out there, and it's supposed to be UV protected. It like started turning the leaves a different color, so I brought it back underneath here. So there's that. So yeah, so we've got the fish fountain there, and then we've got the antique. Well, I'm charging right now, so I'm gonna leave the phone on the charger. But we have the fountain in the front that's like an old wash tub, an old antique wash tub. And my plan was to actually, I want to paint it aqua. We just haven't gotten the paint yet because it's okay the way it is, but it just kind of bland. Like I don't know. I'm really into colors, so we're still probably gonna do that. But I just took a vine and put it around it, and it's been doing really good. It's the only thing that's big enough to catch the water that goes up and falls back down because you need it to stay in there so you don't have to fill it all the time. Because we're gonna get a big rain barrel and do rain catching to use for watering plants. But this year we've been lucky enough for it keeps raining itself. But those could be beneficial too because I could use those for the fountains since we pay for water here. The water bill will be changing since we're watering the crap out of everything now. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's like some kind of a watermelon plant. That's what that's called. I can't think of the exact name of it. Okay, the girls are um are going for slushies. I made $6 and just handed it right back to the girls. But the girls are all going to go get slushies, so that's what's going on. And they promised they quit talking at the same time I was talking. Bigfoot, hi, honey. What dude? You should tell. Hey, while you're over at your friends, have Michael subscribe to the channel, and that way he can come on here and hang out and stuff when he's bored. I just cut another cucumber up for the girls, and um, Destiny wasn't in the mood to try, but her friend ate all of them, and the dogs had 3 big pieces, so they're really good. They'll be really good when they're cold too, because I'm all about stuff that's cold. But yeah, don't be too long because we have to get dinner done and get to a movie. We're gonna go to a late movie tonight, y'all. $6 and you get popcorn with it. They're the Dream Lounge chairs. I don't know if anybody's been to the newer theaters where they have these chairs that ain't nothing like them crap shit we used to have back in the day. These things. Look, I went to a movie like 3-4 years ago. It was me, my husband, my daughter, a couple of her friends, and we'd all been out for margaritas and had a really good time and decided to go to the movie. And I couldn't. I fell asleep through the whole doggone thing. You know what I mean? The whole thing. I went through, and I was like, oh my gosh. I woke up and the movie was over and everybody was leaving, and I was like, that was a really comfortable lounger. So, oh, oh, okay. Ah, okay. So Bigfoot Jr.'s on here. It's not Bigfoot. Okay. I was like wondering. I was like, huh? It's charging? Doesn't seem like it is. It's so weird when it doesn't look like your phone's charging, but it is. Sorry about that. I didn't know that it kicked me off. Go figure. And also, I need to make sure that I'm on my own. This last time I was trying to go off the Wi-Fi, and when we were walking around, it was really like unclear. So I should just be on Wi-Fi here instead. Let me try to do that. All right. Hopefully, you guys, sound is okay because it looks like I am on my actual internet instead of the Wi-Fi, which is probably a good thing. Definitely. I definitely didn't want that thing to do that, but you gotta love it, right? Technology, the things that it does sometimes when you're like, please, like, right, well, that's the situation there. Hopefully, he will come on. Um, love you too. I believe that, because little man's under dad's It's like his old tablet. So Dad must not be thinking that that he could go through his YouTube on there. But you know how like if you're my tablet and my phone were synced together too. So there's that. Yeah, he's a sweetheart, Mary Jane Doe. He really is. My kids were so like his kids are so calm and chill compared to what mine were. I don't even know what's up. Like I'm not. My kids were wild, man. Not all of them, but that last group, at least the twins, they still are. But yeah, no, it's so funny because the fountain is really relaxing, and I have the one here on our patio, and then I have one up on the porch. And at night, when it's all chill and quiet outside, not windy like this, because as you can see, you can see the curtain. That's the wind. That's what we've been dealing with: wind, rain, and heat. It's all it's been the whole summer. I'm so hey now. All right, go try this curtain. It's getting wild, guys. Yeah, they don't want to stay in place when it's windy. There's just no hope for it, you know. The wind is the conqueror of all things. What's that? All right, put that away. No, it's nice when even if it rains, like as long as it rains and it's not real windy, we can have a really nice, you can really relax out here at night. But if it gets windy, doesn't it have a phone? Oh, well, okay, husband. Then go on yours. Little Bigfoot is on under his account, but we'll see. Tell them to get me a slushie, please. Well, I'll have your sister share with you because I'm not sure. I don't know if I gave them enough, but we'll make sure everybody gets a slushie, buddy. Otherwise, I'll have Dad grab you one on the way back home. Okay. And Did you like your cucumbers? I know you didn't come outside. It was so hot back there. You would have been miserable, but pretty good. Something went right for a change. And now we just got to figure out something for dinner, and then we're gonna go to a movie late, feed the dogs, feed the people. Just about dinner time for a lot of folks. Yeah, that just depends on people nowadays. I said, I know you see a friend. It's a mutual friend. Get him involved. He said he doesn't have a phone right now. So he must not have any like actual device that has something on it that he can do YouTube on. But we'll get him subbed up once he gets his phone straightened out. It's funny because what was I gonna say? Lizzo. Hi, hon. Bigfoot's account's been. No, I'm just joking. It's Bigfoot Junior that's in there, but he's the real Bigfoot will be back soon. I told him, I said, why don't you go on your thing? I don't know if he can't go on from his phone if little Bigfoot's on the tablet or not. So we'll see. Because I just messaged hubby that's up the road and I said, hey, why aren't you in the chat? I thought it was him at first. But I think he's on his tablet, so that's why. He's like, I'm going to watch from inside the air conditioning. He goes, I'm not going to come outside. It's getting a little bit better out here, though, now that it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, y'all. It just hit 5 o'clock, yeah. Lizzo, you just got here, hun. Let me take you on a little tour real quick. My phone is being silly. Well, let's wait about 2 more minutes, and then I'll walk you around real quick. In case you don't want to have to, well, I mean, it's not a really long live, but I did the watermelon cutting. Watermelon. I'm losing my mind, y'all. I didn't mean watermelon. I'm looking at a watermelon in the refrigerator and talking about watermelon. Cucumber tasting. We cut our first watermelon. See, I'm going to do it again. Cucumber off the plant today and cut it open and had everybody taste it. And then we did cut 2 more. There was 3 ready to go, 3 big ones. And we saw how big they were getting the other day. And I'm like, we got to do a live. I want to do it on live. I want to take the first vegetable that we've grown and do it, with everybody else. Say it. So there we go. So that's what we did earlier. And then we had 3 total and we're down to 1 cucumber. So they will go well. Hopefully the other ones will get to growing quick because everybody around here loves cucumber, especially the dogs. I'm growing all of the vegetables that we eat and the dogs eat, so that those are things that I can cut down on price-wise. I'm gutted. I'm growing courgettes, and they start growing, and then they shrivel up. Right? Well, I was having a lot of problems back there with all of with the cucumbers at first because of how much water they need. I had to do a lot of research and get to my master gardener guy that he gives great advice. And my biggest thing was mulch. I added a little dirt and then I watered them to death. And then we had 2 days of a really heavy rain and then I mulched them. And that was the key because that holds that moisture in. And so everything started flourishing after that. Can you take the dog out? He's going nuts. Huh? We'll just have him come out here and have it out here. Okay. Yeah, he said the dog is going nuts. I don't know. Just leave it open. Everybody's back with a slushie. I love your yellow cucumber symbols. Okay, we're gonna go on a walk, guys. Oh, here we go, Lizzo. So this is the cucumber plant that I separated out from the big grower back there. And this one here has its first little baby one grown right there. But I'm doing this one in a single pot by itself. The other ones are all back here, and they're all planted in a big planter. And I literally had way too many plants put in there. I did not read on how far apart and all that. And I did it that way because they said if they don't take, then you plant one close to the other one. But oh my gosh. Okay, here we go, Lizzo. Okay, so right here, this is a sweet potato, sweet potato, sweet potato, sweet potato. And then this is baby potatoes. They're little tiny little round potatoes, bite-sized ones like this big. And they had little roots on them, and I planted them down in there, and they've grown full plants on them. So we've got 6 plants out of those. I'm not sure what bug got a hold of them, but I've been treating them with this spray that's supposed to help. I don't know what bit the hell out of it. And then we've got, here's the big cucumber plants, and they're growing on in these 2 big bins. And on this side we have the baby ones. Here's a couple of them, little ones. There's another one. Got a little fat one right there, another one right there. So we got coming in over here. My other side, not so much. And then we've got this is aroma tomato plants. We've got, how many we got here? We got 5 in this. And they'll be the little small aroma tomatoes. And then over here we've got yellow pear. These will be the little pear-shaped yellow tomatoes, little minis. And here we're growing baby carrots, baby lettuce, and romaine lettuce. Over here is our watermelon. And we've, like I said, we're really taking off. We've got some we're going to grow them vertically. And this right here becomes a full cage with an arch on it. And then it has a net that you can cover it with too once the melons start growing. But they're going to be pretty heavy. So I didn't get really big watermelons. I did like I think 6 to 8 pound size. So that's what's going there, right there. And then we've got marigolds planted, flower boxes on the end of the planter that I had my husband put on for me. And 2 in the front, and then these here, because they're what they call pairing your plants with your garden vegetables and stuff. So cucumbers, tomatoes, and watermelon all do really well paired with marigolds, because marigolds are supposed to really help keep the bugs away and stuff. I'm not sure what's going on over here, but I think I'm going to have to bring these bags. They were all up on this pallet, as you can see the little circles from the rain, but I didn't feel like they had, even with the slits in here, that much drainage. Whereas this pallet has bigger holes in between, and the bags were getting all funky looking. So we were like, oh goodness, they're not getting enough, air and that ventilation and stuff. So we moved them, but they're getting eaten up pretty good over there. So I'm not sure. So, but yeah, this is what we got going on food-wise back here. And then I took everybody up to the front to show them right? It's a good idea to grow them on the pallets, because you get air underneath, you know what I mean? And it also provides a nice solid area for a person to walk, especially since the ground's unpredictable. Come to the front here. And then I did the landscaping recently. So here's the front of the house. So I trimmed the hostas back and got me some. At night it looks so cool. You guys, I'll have to go do a quick live at night so I can show everybody. But when it's all lit up, it's always really cool. We got a succulent turtle, mama with a baby turtle. A new bush that I just planted. There was a big hosta here I took out. Another hosta. Another turtle with the butterfly in his back. And then one of our bird bass with the fountain in it. And then we have this fountain over here, which is an antique wash tub. And but all these fountains at night do light shows, and they're so pretty. And then here's our outdoor area with our red solo cup lights, which can give us a little light at night. But yeah. Did some watermelon. I can't stop saying watermelon to save my life, because we always have watermelon. Cucumber tasting a little bit ago, and cut it fresh open on live, and then cut the rest of them off. So pretty good. I just got to do some research on getting them into pickles. Did you? I love them, Lizzo. Now I've had a couple of them that one I recently got that I'm sending back because I don't know, it's doing something weird, but they're just going to replace it with another one. The bigger fountains, that one big one that you just seen, that's too big for that completely. It's meant for like a big pool or a pool the size of, here, I'll take you over. I don't think you've seen that. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Lizzo. My my original water feature outside, I did a short on. This is my pool fountain. We've got let me get everything moving around in here because everything's kind of just sitting in one place. But we'll get everybody moving here. Okay, so we've got Mr. Frog, we've got Mama and Baby Turtle, and then over here we've got Flamingo. A little frog there too, but the little lily pads with the little water lilies on them. And then we got the flamingo. So these are our pond ferns. But yeah, this does the solar all day, and then at night it does a light show. This thing can be like 3, 4 foot tall at night. It's wild. So this is our water feature, and this was easy to do because I mean these little pools are like $10. The solar fountain was about 40. And then like the lily pads and the little stuff there, that was $10. These floaty things weren't cheap though. I think frog was 17, turtle was 20, and the flamingo was 20, which I don't know why. These are made really well, really well. The flamingo came, not saying anything about China, but it was made in China, and it's already kind of fading, but it's so lightweight. It tips over pretty easy, but I like it. It's cool. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. But I'm looking for one of those wash tubs, toy tubs, maybe not a wash tub, a toy tub with the handles on the side, kind of deep, but they're kind of wide. Because I want to put that bigger fountain in one of those instead. Because the bird bath just can't do it. It's just like it's not working. It's hot out here. I know it's only in the 80s, but it feels like 100 to me. How is it? I get blue raspberry. I kind of knew that. I was like American favorite.
American favorite? Where'd you get that from? Russian.
Yeah, it is. Oh my goodness. Refreshing enough to pour over your head. Just open your mouth, pour it over your head, and you'll get cooled off and a slushy all once. I know. Well, then it comes the hose. Yeah. So Lizzo, that's what y'all are. That's why I've been busy. It does look gorgeous at night. It does. Mary Jane don't knows. She's been around. I've added a lot of things that light up since then, y'all. Saying I got to stay away from lights. We do have some really cool lights that we have now. Oh, here comes the real Bigfoot, the big tall guy. Well, the senior Bigfoot. We've got a senior and junior now, y'all. But no, I know. I was like, I want to build one, but I was looking at people doing DIYs with like terracotta pots and stuff, and I started looking at things and picking things out on Amazon to make a fountain with. And I was like, this is getting to be more than. And then I just was like, let's do something quick and simple first, and then go from there. So I still haven't done it yet, but I still want to make an actual fountain that we design with different pots and stuff. And then you just get the pump that goes in the bottom, and it runs up a hose, and basically like this one, Lizzo. So like that one right there, there's a hose that runs up through the fish and all those tiers, and then that's what pumps the water through. So I would just get something like that, and then you just build your own fountain. So I'm still going to do that. I really want to do that, but I was excited, and I didn't want to spend the money they want on Amazon to buy one that was that was so fake looking. So we just got a couple bird baths, and I started out with those. Oh, goodness gracious, you guys. Well. I'm telling you. It's a hot one, I know. We brought the fan out here the other night just to like move air, and it was actually quite like. You want to go and get us a slushie? I made $6 and gave it to the girls. A gentleman pulled up and bought 2 potato slips, and yeah. I think he was definitely a planting fella, and he was going home to plant them suckers. At first, I didn't know if it was a guy, and I said, "Oh, here's," and AJ's like, "No, that's a dude." Yeah. Oh my goodness. Whew.
Mango and the blue raspberry. Those two together.
There's so many different concoctions.
Blueberry and mango together. They didn't have either of the.
Maybe we should start a slushy truck and drive around and make people slushies and deliver them to the door. Slushy made in your driveway.
I said in the chat, tell them to get
me a slush. Yeah, he was doing to you, using the chat to deliver a private message. I'm like,
I'm delivering.
kids. Can you go get me my towel in the house, the one I wiped myself off with because I'm sweaty? And just to let you know, guys, paper towels may be okay for a momentarily situation, but when they get past a certain point, then you start to see all these little white things, and pretty sure those are all over me too now. So
Little white thing.
yeah, like I don't know, what do you call it? Yeah, it's like all the paper particles. Oh, back up already. Yeah, right when I started the live, the neighbor was mowing. And then
You're a dog's house.
Well, I couldn't hear them. Is that mine or is that the dog one?
On the back of your chair.
Oh, then it's mine. It doesn't have a hole in it. There's two the same color. That's why that one day Dad was about to wipe his head with that thing. And I was like, no. It's been worse in the rain if you didn't. I don't know what else has happened. So anyway, I feel like I got sunburned today, y'all. It just feels, you know how you feel when you're a little burnt? You can just feel it. Yeah, the sucker's been burnt. Oh, it keeps getting. I'm gonna have to like have a shirt that has one long sleeve and one short sleeve so I can even it out. Wouldn't that be funny looking? Like, okay, it's a new style. It's called evenly tanning yourself.
I'm wearing that.
I'll call it the sun shirt. No, the tanning shirt.
Oh, go beep yourself.
That must be from that business over there. Yeah, I bet. OMG, guys. Well, y'all, it's been lovely hanging out with you guys. I'm gonna get off of the screen for a little bit, and yeah, I guess the next step is preparing food. I got dogs in there that are hungry. That's probably why they keep coming to the door. They're ready for me to cut up a sweet potato. Not one of ours yet, but a sweet potato, so that they can have that with their chicken. Alrighty. Well, it's been great hanging out with everybody, and I hope you loved the garden update and the landscape update. We will be now watching the last 3 vegetables. We will be coming on once a week for updates. That way we can watch that grow. Obviously, I tried to do that with the other stuff, and that didn't work. Because it just, like I said, there was a lot of things going on. Weather in between wasn't helping. When I tried to go live, it would rain or something would happen. And so everything had been moved right from its original place. But if anybody's interested in like what everything kind of started out, even the Bigfoot sweet potato that literally before it ever even grew at all, when it was first put in water, there's pictures of it. if you want to check that out, you can. And but yeah, I'll be back, and we'll be probably once a week every time we go live, pulling produce off of the cucumber plants because it looks like they're going to do well. So hopefully soon we'll have some other things like tomatoes, but we'll be watching everything grow together, guys. So see you next time on Wild Angels Garden Adventures. Bye.